Uh, Hello. Welcome to
Yeah.
Township 909.
Oh, thank you, Jason. Yeah.
I'm not Townsend 909, but
Oh man. Sorry. Welcome, welcome to Townsend 909. Thank you for Jason for trying to do the intro.
trying to intro.
Yeah. If that ever happens to you, I'll be like, hey, this is I'm on Jason's channel. You know, from the great state of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
In all seriousness, though, welcome to Sounds of 909, or welcome back if you're a lovely viewer. Me and Jason, the old millennial, will be reviewing not this album, this is their second album, Kinks. I just randomly picked the Kinks album because I don't own the debut. This and certain other album are the only two I don't own from the 60s. Um, Anything you'd like to say before we start reviewing all the tracks? Like what
Uh,
got you into the Kinks and all that?
yeah, Kinks is a band I've heard of. Obviously, they got a couple big hits in the 60s, basically from this album or this period. And then a couple other interesting ones later on, like Lola, is always a big radio hit, and which is definitely very odd, I guess. Definitely contrasting styles of music, but I always think of this period as Kinks. The "You Really Got Me," "All Day All Night," were like big hits on the radio, and were all good songs. But I don't know. I don't feel like Kinks is talked about as much. Uh, for me growing up, like I don't think I listened to a lot of Kinks, or that was one I knew a lot of. I don't know if, of course, when we get to the series, I know there's a part in their career where they kind of went away from America and they kind of didn't do anything in America for a little while. They got like banned or whatever, and they were like, so I don't know if they're not as big in America as they are in UK maybe, or I don't know how that works, uh, but they're a band that I feel like once I got into the vinyl community, I feel like there's a lot of fans of Kink fans out there, and so I keep hearing a lot of people talk about the Kinks, and some of their later stuff is really great. And so it definitely was a band that's been on my mind that I've wanted to check more out and see what everybody's talking about.
Yeah, when I pardon me, when I got into the Kinks, I heard their one of the bigger songs from this period, "All Day and All the Night." I'm like, this is a lot more different than I'm used to. This was back when I was primarily just really listening to the Beatles. So when I
Hmm.
heard this song, I'm
Yeah.
like, this is this is different. And then I found out it was like around the same time that they were making music, and I'm like, this doesn't sound like the '60s. This sounds like something that would be sounds like it's ahead of its time.
Hmm.
Uh, they um, they hit a peak in creativity from '66 all the way to '70. Some of my favorite albums of all time. I don't know if I mentioned it on a video yet on my channel, but I'm going to be doing a top 100 best out my well not best my favorite albums of all time,
Uh-huh.
100
Yeah.
best, and five of those albums from that period is definitely going to be in my top 100 at least, alongside with albums like The Who, The Beatles, Rolling Stones. So I feel like you're right, Jason. I feel like compared to those bands, I feel like they're very not talked about.
Hmm. Yeah.
uh, they were banned from the U.S. They did have popular in the U.S., but not in the '60s. Late '70s, early '80s. They had a peak in not creativity, peak in commercial uh, in the U.S. And
Hmm.
we'll talk about those albums when we
Right.
get to those. That's way later down the line. But they had a little bit of success in the U.S. in the early '60s, but then, like you said, they got banned. That's when they basically fell into obscurity. Basically, no one knew what they were. And then they came back in the '69, and then they had their big hit a year later with Lola,
Yeah.
probably their most well-known song now, from what I know. I could
Yeah.
be wrong. It's tossing between that and "You Really Got Me," so
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
knows? But yeah, let's start talking about this. This was released in '64, year after. the Beatles' "Please Please Me" album was released, and has 14 tracks on it. And first track on the album is a Chuck Berry cover sung by Dave Davies. And what do you think about that track?
Yeah, Beautiful Delilah. Um,
Beautiful Delilah.
One maybe my least favorite on this on the album. And a lot of it, and there's a couple songs that I'll talk about that I just really did not like on this album. And a lot of that is to the vocals, I think, were terrible. And it's like he was off key. It sounds like he's maybe went sharp. Uh, and he doesn't do that all the time because there's some songs here that sound great. I think the vocals are fine. And, but there's a couple like this one. I don't know. There's something about the vocals that just was grating on my ears that I just could not take, in my opinion.
Yeah, I get that. This is Dave Davies singing, as opposed to Ray Davies singing.
Okay.
His vocals are very different on this
Okay.
album. Did you like I Am Free, the song from King Controversy? I don't know if you remember that song.
I don't remember. I have to go back and look.
I was gonna say there are. I feel like his vocals get better. What I feel like you'll like Death of a Clown. Like his vocals get better. I will agree. His vocals are very off on this album.
Yeah.
Especially compared to his brother Ray, which already he had some. He's already killing it, Ray, with the vocals. But
Okay.
yeah, Dave Davies, he's a little bit.
Who plays the guitar?
He's a guitarist. Yeah, he's the Davies brothers. They were fighting each other before Oasis was doing that.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. That's what I've heard.
They were ahead of it. They were ahead of their time.
They're ahead of their time.
But yeah, Beautiful Delilah. Musically, it's amazing. The guitar work. It's an amazing song. If it was just an instrumental, it'd be great. But I will agree the vocals are a bit much. Yeah. Next song on the album, So Mystifying.
It's fine. Yeah, it's funny. You go from Beautiful Delilah to this one, and this happens a lot in this album where I'll go, man, I really do not like this song. And then next song I'll be like, wow, this is a really good song. And this is the case where I'm like, I thought So Mystifying was such a great step up from the first song. And again, it's because I think there's some good backup vocals here. When they sing together, it sounds great. It has a nice catchiness to it that I like in this period, this 60s period. And just the chorus, I really like the chorus, so mystifying. Like you can sing along to it, and it's just kind of a fun song.
This would have been a good single, I must say. I'm surprised it wasn't a single.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot better. Way better. I mean, this isn't like in terms of vocals, it isn't Waterloo Sunset yet, but
right.
You can see where it begins, though. You can see where they're starting their evolution, and this is a good example of the harmonizing. I wouldn't say they're anywhere near as good as the Hollies or the Beatles, but
right, no,
they have their moments, though, and as you mentioned to me before, Waterloo Sunset's definitely one of them.
Such a good song.
But yeah, this is a great song. Should have been a single. Should have been a big single if it was. Next song on the album, Just Can't Go to Sleep.
Just Can't Go to Sleep. One of my favorite off the album. Really, really like the song. Definitely was a, kind of I don't know if it's a deep cut, hidden gem song that I think is one of their best. Like I put it on my list of, possible, top 10 song, we'll see, of course, as we go on. My list will grow, and then I'll have to cut it down to 10. But it's definitely one I wrote down as I think one of the best I've heard from them, from the first 3 albums I've heard of, in fact. Just a great melody. It's just very catchy. The vocals, I think, are just great. And I love the hand clapping when you get to the chorus. Really good song, I think, off the album.
I love this song too. There's another song like this and So Mystifying are so underrated.
Yeah.
If there was like a good, even just 12 songs with this quality, I would think like,
yeah,
wow.
I wish we would have got more of this on the album.
Hmm. I'll go more into way more into that when we do the
Uh-huh.
tier list of all the British Invasion albums, and when we compare and contrast, I say this a million times on everyone's channel, but I consider Please Please Me and My Generation to be the key standard of how to make a debut album in the British Invasion. And then the others are range from great to good to just flat out awful. But yeah, this album's good, but yeah, this is definitely no Please Please Me in that, by any means. But yeah, it's like this is a fantastic song. Very catchy. I sing along to it every time I listen to it.
Yeah.
Every time I just can't go to sleep. Every time I just can count sheep. Just good stuff. Fourth track on the album, Long Tall Shorty.
It sounds a little bit like Long Tall Sally. I'm always like, I always get that mixed up. I'm like, Long Tall Shorty. Like, what's another one of my least favorite on the album? Again, same reason. I think the vocals are terrible, and I just cannot get into the song.
I think it's definitely the weakest song on the album. Dave Davies is probably at his lowest of lows on this song. Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. Next song though, I Took My Baby Home.
Another one of my favorites off the album. I love the harmonica on this one. The harmonica comes up, I think, maybe twice on this album that I can remember that I wrote down, at least. And I always like a good harmonica, like the Beatles when they did harmonica in the first couple of albums. I always enjoyed it, and I think they do a good job here. And yeah, I think it's yeah, I said it's one of the best songs on the album. Similarly, like if they can continue doing this kind of stuff, man, I think it'd been a better album. I love, like I said, I love, and vocals are good, and I love when they sing together. I think it sounds much better.
Yeah, their first three albums, they made some bad. I don't know if it's them that's doing the album making choices or
Right,
the producer Shel
the
Tommy.
producer maybe.
Like
I wonder.
that's preventing them from doing anything great. But like their third album, they open up with Milk Cow Blues, and I'm just like, this doesn't show any growth. This doesn't show
Right.
any evolution. You know, like in '65, we had the Beatles open up their two '65 albums with Help and Drive My Car, and then you have the Kinks opening up their album with Milk Cow Blues, and it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
it just shows, like try to keep up with your contemporaries, try to even top them. I feel like they're one of the greatest bands of all time when they really try. But yeah, this is proof, and this song's amazing. Why does it have to be songs like Beautiful Delilah and Long Tall Shorty?
Yeah, and I don't know if it's they're trying to be more bluesy when I don't like them, or if they get more poppy, I like them better. I don't know if that makes sense.
I agree. They were better as a pop band than they were as a bluesy band because that's
Yeah,
that's why I think you're gonna like their albums from '66 to '70s because they moved more towards a poppy direction
you're
than
right.
these
Okay,
first
yeah,
three albums.
yeah.
But next song on the album, I'll go first on this one. I'm a lover, not a fighter. This one is not good. It's just not good.
No.
It's just not good at all. It's just it's the way he sings it. I might, you know what? I changed my mind. This is the worst.
This is the worst one.
This is bad. This just I try to get myself into it. I feel like a messed up Kinks fan for not enjoying it, but this is not good.
Yeah, there's like 5 songs in here I just really did not like. Yeah, and this is one of them. That similar thing. I just hated the vocals on it. It was just grating to the ear.
Normally I love Dave Davies,
And
but
just
these first
not
two
great, not great melody, not great. I don't know anything. I don't know.
the first two albums with Dave Davies singing vocals are just well, there's some decent ones on the second album. Um, yeah. Next song on the album though, side one closer. You really got me.
Yeah, this is. I mean, this is the best song on the album. I would say right here. And I knew it was going to be. I mean, I love the song. It's one of the best rock songs of the '60s, and that guitar riff is just—it's amazing because it's 1964. It's like this guitar riff belongs to like 1968 or something. Like every time I hear this, I'm always shocked that this was 1964. Because I was like, this is, I mean, nobody else was. I don't. I mean, to my knowledge, I don't feel like anybody else was doing a guitar riff this good this early. Even the Beatles guitar riffs weren't this good, I think, in my opinion. And we don't get the Who and Led Zeppelin a little bit later. I mean, Who was around this period, but uh, not really to later. Like Led Zeppelin and the Beatles, of course, have a lot of great stuff later on. And you get Jimi Hendrix comes in, and you get all these really great guitar riffs. But this is, I don't know, I almost want to say it's one of the first great guitar riffs out there because it's so heavy. It's just this heavy ba 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 ba, and you're just like, wow, what is this guitar? How did they make that sound? Like, I don't know if I mean, you can tell me if this seems like a groundbreaking song to me, just hearing it. I've heard it so many times, but knowing the time period it came from, it seems kind of groundbreaking. But uh, it's a great rock song. I think the vocals, like here again, I say a lot of bad stuff about vocals. The vocals are great on this song, and work so well. And I love, and one of the best parts of the song is, he's singing, the girl, you really got me now. Yeah, and then the background when they go, yeah, you really, and he kind of starts getting a little louder. Yeah, you really got me going. And I don't know, something about that buildup. There's such a great buildup with the background, with the yeah, and him kind of revving it up, and then getting up to that. You really got me. I don't know. And then even when he goes to oh no, and then and then goes into that, like it's so great. Like I don't know, I can talk a lot about it, but yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I agree. This is groundbreaking. You're not the only. Many people find this to be one of the most groundbreaking songs of the '60s, and for great reasons. This is easily. I hate to be the predictable one who picks the big hit off of the album as the best,
Yeah.
but I agree. This is
Yeah.
easily the best thing off this
Okay.
album.
That's what I'm
I
thinking.
just the song's great when I'm saying that's the best song.
Right. Yeah.
It's just it's different. It's very different. I love when songs explore and go different, go to like sort of uncharted territory. People think of this as a hit song, and now we all view it as a hit song, but back then, before it became established and all that, it's very ahead of its time. Like you mentioned, it's very different. Definitely goes off uncharted territory of that time.
Yeah.
4 years later, like you said, '68. That's to be expected from
Yeah.
them, but in this period, it's just like, whoa, like this isn't what I'm expecting from a rock band / pop band from this time. Side 2 opens up with Cadillac.
Yeah, I thought the song was okay. Not one of my favorites, but not one of my worst. Kind of in the middle, I think, of the album. Uh, I thought it had a similar. It's funny when I'm listening to this album. Sometimes I listen to a song and I think this sounds similar to another song, and I thought this sounded similar to "So Mystifying." And I don't know if I'm wrong on that, but for some reason it had a similar vibe to "So Mystifying" to me when they get to the chorus. And it's a fun chorus. I love they spell out the word, the like Cadillac or something like that. And I'm like, oh, they're spelling out Cadillac. And yeah, overall, I think it's an okay song.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I mean, it's not as good as the song that came before. It's like
No, right, yeah,
pretty hard to follow up a song like that, but it does a good
yeah,
job of doing that. I do agree that the spelling part's pretty cool. I don't blame you for thinking that it's similar to "So Mystifying." The way that they sing is like, "Oh,
yeah. There's something
Cadillac,"
there. Yeah,
and then like with that "So Mystifying," it's like, "So mystifying."
yeah. How they hold the word out. Yeah.
I see where you're coming from though.
Okay.
Next song on the album, "Bald Headed Woman."
What a strange song to me. Um, it's the lyric. I don't know the lyrics. I remember something about. It seemed like it was kind of mean. Like it was like bald headed woman. Like, and then it was something about like I don't like you or I don't want you. I forget now, but lyric kind of made me laugh a little bit because I was like, wow, this kind of seems mean. But then again, I was like, yeah, I mean, I don't want a bald headed woman either. Like, it's not exactly an attractive look on a woman, but uh, the song, it's not one of the worst. But it's not great. I don't think. and I feel like it starts off kind of a low registry, low, um, not much effort into, or not much energy into the song, and I kind of thought, oh, it's going somewhere, like it's gonna, start getting louder, it's gonna start revving up or something. But I feel like it never does. I feel like it doesn't go anywhere. It just stays at the same level, in my opinion.
Listen to the Who version; it's a lot better. I I always listen to the Who version. Every time I listen to this version, I'm like, ugh, whose ver- whose version's way better. I don't really like this version. It's very very mediocre song. At least with the Who's version, it actually picks up sort of with the. It's like goes like either Townsend or Daltrey goes crazy on the harmonica in the middle.
Uh,
It's a lot more interesting the Who's version. This version is just like I agree. It starts off low. You expect when I first heard it, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be like the Who, where it's gonna get crazy in the middle and all that. But I never did. This wasted potential. I mean, this version came out before and was recorded before the Who's version, so who knows? This was written by the producer Shel Tommy,
uh,
which was both the Kinks and the Who's producer. So
all right, all
Shel
right.
Tommy was really pushing his song on them, on both of them. But
Okay.
thankfully, the Who had it as just a B side because even though their version's way better than the Kinks version, their version isn't really that spectacular either. Next song on the album is instrumental,
Yeah.
"Revenge."
Revenge instrumental. I'm not always crazy about instrumentals on albums, unless you do a really, really good job, I guess. And this, again, not the worst, but not the maybe towards the bottom of my list, but definitely not the worst. But because I think the guitar is actually not bad on here. I think it has a decent guitar riff throughout it, and I like the harmonica in the song as well. So there's some good stuff here, but it's just like I can take it or leave it.
I think the harmonica is like the best part of the song. I think it's the only good part of the song. The guitar playing's all right. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
Dave Davies would go on to do some great stuff with the Kinks. I mean, for crying out loud, he did really got me. So
yeah,
that right away just proves how great of a guitar player he is. But this track, it's just, mm,
yeah.
all right. Next song on the album is another Chuck Berry cover. They're
Uh,
really into Chuck Berry, just like
okay.
a lot of other artists at the time, like the
Yeah,
Beatles. So
yeah, definitely.
and the Hollies. Too much monkey business.
I just put this as, again, okay song, not bad song. It's kind of in the middle of the album for me. Uh, yeah, not a lot to say for me. I guess it's just okay.
That's fair. The only thing I really have to say about it is great guitar playing. That's all. That's really all I have to say. It's great guitar playing of a otherwise mediocre cover of this otherwise
Yeah,
song.
not
Yeah,
one of Chuck Berry's best, probably.
if you want to hear a great cover of this song, listen to the Hollies version. It's like
Okay,
Tony Hicks, Alan Clark, and Graham Nash all like have at least one section of lead vocals. So
okay.
it's a very interesting version of that song. It's a million times better than this version. It's funny. It's funny. We're talking about the Kinks and hear me just sort of name checking a bunch of other bands. You know, like the
Yeah.
Hollies version of this, Kinks. I mean,
Other people got versions.
Who,
That's
so
interesting.
the Beatles. So it just proves how sort of behind they are in terms of making albums.
And we can talk about "You Really Got Me." I think Van Halen did a version.
Yeah, I not the biggest fan of the Van Halen version.
I think that might have been on their debut album, in fact, if I remember
It
right.
was.
Yes, which was okay. I think I like this version better, but
I just like the personality of the way Ray Davies sings. You really got me.
Yeah,
You really
I
got me.
agree.
You really get me. It's just like
Yeah,
the way Halen sings. He's just like, really got me. You really got me. You know, it's just no personality to it. But
yeah, yeah.
that's just my opinion. There's no one version's better than another. It's just opinions.
Yeah, yeah.
This is an interesting one. I've been driving on Bald Mountain.
Yeah, I don't know why I found it weird that we got bald-headed woman and bald mountain in the same. Like, what's what? I don't hear bald that often. I got two in this uh, on this album, and it's another one of my least favorite on the album. It's one that I ranked pretty low. Again, just did not like the vocals here or anything. Yeah,
Yeah, just the way Dave Davies sings was like, I've been driving
yeah.
on the mountain. I don't know how you could sing like that.
He's just not singing on key or something. I don't know what it is. He's just
It's bad.
it's not smooth. I guess he doesn't have a smooth voice. I don't know.
Yeah, this would have been a lot better if Ray was singing on it.
Maybe that's the thing.
That goes for a lot of other songs on this album, though. Yeah, I don't. That was that. Not a good song. The next song on the album, "Stop Your Sobbing."
This was one of my favorite off the album. It's another top five for me. Um, a lot of it's because I really like the chorus. Again, I love it if you give me a nice catchy chorus and and that sound. The stop your sobbing or something. I forget now. I'm forgetting how it goes, but I remember something about that. I really, yeah, I thought it was a good song. It's one of the best on the album.
I think this song's amazing. This is Lightning's better than some of the songs that we were getting before it. I mean, this is probably the
Yeah,
best. This is the best song on side two. I mean,
I,
besides
I totally agree.
besides this song, side two is pointless.
You're right. Yeah, side one's yeah, it's quite a bit better. Yeah,
I hate to say that because you know me, I'm a huge Kinks fan. I'm the biggest Kinks fan out of all four of us in our little
yeah.
group. But this song is just so much better than the other ones. It's just I don't know, just bit of an insult.
Yeah, to be honest, my four favorite songs are on that first side. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Last song on the album, Got Love If You Want It.
another one of my least favorite on the album. I ranked it. I rank every song kind of, or I give it a score, and it's. I gave this a 1 out of 5, and there's 5 songs I gave 1 out of 5 on, and again, I don't know. It just the vocals just terrible. It's the same thing.
Yeah, I agree. This is what a weak way to end off the album.
Yeah, kind of bad way to end it.
You know, you have the Who end off with the Ox. You have the Beatles end off "Please Please Me" with "Twist and Shout," and then you have the Kinks ending off with "Got Love If You Want." It's just like disappointing. This is very disappointing. Uh, Before we get to our top five, I do want to talk about their hit
Mm,
song at the
yeah.
time, "All Day and All of the Night." What do you got to say about that song?
Oh, it's a great song. Yeah, it's definitely one of their top 2 songs I think in this period. Uh, in fact, the first 3 albums I've heard, that's the best 2 songs, obviously, and they're big hits for a reason. I mean, like I said, I feel like You Really Got Me and All Day and All the Night uh, have they just feel more original to the band. I don't know. I feel like, and I don't know if we're talking about that song, of course, but like the whole album felt like it just needed more originality to it, and I feel like those 2 songs are the most original to the band and make them sound different than other bands. And obviously, if you put All Day and All the Night, it'd be a much better album. Take off some of these bad songs, and I don't know if there's more songs they could have added, but that's definitely one they could have added and made the album much better.
If you check out the deluxe version, there's
uh,
some songs that were left off of it that should have been on there instead. For me, take out all the Dave Davies sung songs.
yeah,
Those don't don't have You Really Got Me open up the album, and then have
yeah.
like All Day and All the Night close out the album.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Those would
Yeah.
have been perfect bookends.
Yes.
Have 12 songs instead of 14 songs.
Yes.
You're not
Yes.
the Beatles. You're not going to make a great 14 track album. Just going to point that out right away. Just going to say that right now. I mean, in his first 3 albums, they would make a great 14 track album after, but
Yeah. So I mean, they could have made it. I mean, I don't. We haven't said what we like about that or what we think about the album, but I mean, you think they probably could have made a better album, right?
they could have made a much better album. They had so much potential.
Yeah.
It's just untapped potential. That's what bothers me. Is just like
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
capable. I mean, once they got banned from the U.S. and Davies actually did what Ray Davies really did what he wanted to do, not try to appease America and all that. Some of the best music he's ever made. I mean, Sunny Afternoon, Waterloo Sunset. Those are probably the biggest two songs from that period of the band, but those are amazing songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, not that, but they had so much great singles. I had a song called "Well Respected Man." I think if you remember me playing to that song,
Right.
when
Right.
it gets up in the morning. They made some of the best singles too, but they never put it on their albums because they had this sort of same thing that the Beatles did with, like, oh, we don't
Yeah.
want to steal it from our fans.
Yeah.
Viewed singles and albums as two separate entities. There were obviously there was exceptions for both bands, like the Beatles putting "Love Me Do" on that album, and
Please,
they
please.
can advertise it like "Please Please Me," "Love Me Do," and 12 other
And 12
songs.
other songs. Yeah.
It's like I love when bands do that.
I
Like
know.
Four Seasons did it. It was like Sherry and
Sure.
11 other songs,
Other songs.
Layla and other assorted love songs. It's
Yeah.
always funny. Like they have like that big headliner song, and then
Yeah. They're
it's like
trying to get you to
and
buy the
then
album.
other songs, just
Yeah.
the other ones. I always thought that was funny.
That is, yeah.
Thankfully, the Beatles only did that with one album.
Please, please me.
Yeah, but what's your five? What's your top five?
Yeah.
Oh
Please,
yeah,
please me with Love Me Too. Yeah.
it's hilarious. I always thought that. I always got a kick out of that with the
Yeah.
this and other songs. They even bothered to add it in the "Love Me Do" thing. It's like
Yeah.
please,
With
please
Love
me
Me Too.
and "Love Me Do," and then 12 other songs. But that's just going down a further rabbit hole of
Yeah.
album names. But what is your five favorite songs and a dishonorable song? And yeah,
Honorable. Uh, yeah. I mean, to be honest, there's only 5 songs I really liked off the album, so it fits perfectly with the top 5. Um, Number 5, I went with "Stop Your Sobbing." Best, like I said, best on that second side. Number 4, I went with "So Mystifying." Number 3, I took "My Baby Home." Number 2, "Just Can't Go to Sleep." And then number 1 was "You Really Got Me," was the big one.
yeah, yeah. It's funny. It's
They're similar.
basically yeah. Our top five is identical except in order. My number five is going to be "Just Can't Go to Sleep." Number four, "I Took My Baby Home." Number three, "Stop Your Shopping." Number two, "So Mystifying." And number one, "You Really Got Me." Uh, and for dishonorable mention,
Oh yeah, Dishonorable.
any of the Dave Davies songs.
Yeah, like I said, "Beautiful Delilah," "Long Tall Shorty," "I'm Not a Lover," I'm a Lover, Not a
I'm a
Fighter."
lover, not a fighter.
I've been driving on Bald Mountain and "Got Love If You Want It." Were those 5 were like all dishonorable, I think.
I hate saying that, but yeah, I have to agree with you on that.
Okay.
Um, what would your top five be if All Day and All the Night? Well, you said that was your top two, but
All Day would be second, probably on the album. I'm
yeah,
pretty sure.
mine would be All Day and All Night would be number one. Would be
Mhm.
number one, and the other song it would just shift. So like,
Yeah.
I mean, would be two. So Mystifying would be three. It's just sort of like that. Okay, what is your album rating from scale from 1 through 10?
Yeah. So I mean, this album, I said there's 5 really good songs here. There's 5 really bad songs on here, and then some mediocre songs in the middle. I mean, I went with a 7 out of 10 just because of the 5 songs that were good. I was generous enough to bump it up to 7.
Hmm. Well, you're a lot nicer than me because, well,
Early.
yeah. So for every one Dave Davies song, I'm not that crazy about. I dock it half a point. So I always say, like with the "you're innocent until proven guilty," I say you're a 10 out of 10 until proven otherwise. So 10 out of 10, 5. So 9.5, then 9, 8.5, 8, 7.5. So it's a 7.5 with those 5 songs.
Okay.
And then with the mediocre songs, it really devalues it because they're capable of more. So like Cadillac, songs like Cadillac, Revenge, Bald Headed Woman, and and Too Much Monkey Business.
Yeah.
That knocks it
Yeah.
down to
Yeah.
a 6 out of 10.
Oh, 6.
So we're not that
I was
off.
nicer.
Yeah, and I'm the Kinks fan, so
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked.
I'm trying to be realistic. Though. If I was being unrealistic, I'd be like, oh, it's a 9 out of 10 because of the 5 great songs on it, and especially You Really Got Me. But if I'm
Right.
going to be realistic and I'm trying to be try not to take my biases aside, it's a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
Try to be a little harsh because yeah.
Yeah, on first listen, I gave it like a 6 out of 10, but then after re-listening to it, I bumped it up because I enjoyed those 5 songs. I guess
Yeah. I don't. Did you like kind of Kinks more than the first album?
I don't think so. I think they're similar.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, I have to look at my list when I don't know if I have it here
Well, we'll review that album like eventually.
because I
Well,
listened to all 3 albums, but it was a little while ago, so I have to re-listen to them again to remind myself.
well, this is their second album. This is the album we'll be reviewing next. Whether it be sometime next week or sometime the following week.
I think I might have liked the second maybe a little more, and then I think I liked the third one less or something like that. I'll have to
Yeah.
look.
Well, I'll give you my in-depth opinions on both of those albums. Until then, thank you guys for watching this video. It's 4:04 where I live. Hopefully in 2 hours, me, Jason, and Briar could do a great Queen ranking
Yeah,
from
yeah.
bottom to top. Excited till then. Thank you guys for watching and so long. Come on, let me end the stream.